So this is exactly where Rocky, this is the oldest prison in all of North America. So that is where America got officially branded its own country. It's so stupid. So we have literally just arrived here in Philadelphia and it's already looking a lot different compared to New York City. It's a castle. Hello everyone, I am Lewis, you are watching Lost in Travel and welcome on here to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Previously on Lost in Travel. My friend Joe and I travelled for a week of shenanigans in New York City. Despite being a tad under the weather, I think we've got a bit of altitude sickness. So we got to see amazing skyline views from the top of NYC's best observation decks, set our eyes on movie-like scenes, and had the most fun wandering around a stunning metropolitan where skyscrapers are your forest. I now understand why it is called the concrete jungle. But today, on our final full day stateside, we have headed 90 minutes to a completely different city and state as we explore one of America's founding towns in Philly. Is it always sunny? There's only one way to find out. So hello everyone and welcome on here to a brand new video. And today we're not in New York City anymore. We have got the Amtrak's train out from Penn Station, 90 minutes outside, and we're now here at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm now taking off my third state overall and I'm very excited to be here. Philadelphia is one of the oldest cities here in America, and just on my little walk through the city I can already tell that it is so much older than what I expected it to be. Like, there is a lot of skyscrapers, but there was one rule here, and that was that back in the day no building could be taller than the city hall. So a lot of the buildings here still have their old elegant charm to them, and this building behind me, Philadelphia, is also famous not just for being the place where the independence book was signed and America gained independence from the UK, but is also known for a certain movie with Sylvester Stallone known as Rocky, and this is where the main sequence was filmed. I don't know how Rocky done it. So this is exactly where Rocky took his training, and I've got an interesting fact to tell you guys about me. Actually quite a humiliating fact. I've never watched a single Rocky movie. You know when people just have this one celebrity they do not like? Well, my mum's is Sylvester Stallone, so I've never managed to watch any of the Rocky movies. I guess I could go and do it now, but I've just never really had the opportunity to go do so. But maybe after being here for the first time, maybe I will go take the step back and go check out all the Rocky movies. There's not like 7 or something of them. I don't even know, is this in like the third one, or is it? No, the fourth one's the biggest one, right? Oh, this shows you I am not the biggest Rocky fan. But hey, Eye of the Tiger. At least I can get some of that into my vlog. Oh, Philly, you're actually very peaceful compared to New York. This is well needed on my week away. So it is now starting to rain here in Philadelphia, but at least this museum of art has amazing views across the whole of Philly. Like, I've made to see it in all different angles, so the rain's not really going to bother me. And I've got to say, we've been quite lucky right now. It is winter and we were totally warned about Northeast American winters and how cold they can get. Apparently my gran and granddad were in New York in February a couple of years ago and they made it to about maybe minus 15 degrees some days. So we have been really fortunate with the weather here. It's not bothering us, and maybe a little rain will do us good. Why Philadelphia is not a place that people put on their list. I am really enjoying to see the architecture here. Very traditional American style, and I am all for it. I think already I can say with full confidence that my favourite part about travelling around Northeast America, going to New York City, going to Philadelphia, I think is seeing the contrast between old America. Buildings like this museum right beside me, other buildings like the City Hall and town centres, and all the very traditional buildings. Like, America is not that old, but when you see what modern America looks like, it really makes the older stuff, which are still new in European standards, but it makes them look centuries older, because America is so developed in the last century. It is unbelievable. Like, the difference between skyscrapers and these traditional buildings is insane. And I think that's the train coming in that you can hear behind me. So it is a shame that the Philadelphia Museum of Art is closed today. I never checked, and we're here on a Tuesday. I never thought it would be closed on a Tuesday, so I just assumed that it wouldn't be. But I think if I ever go to return, I would not choose to come on a Tuesday. I'll come on a different day, and I will go into this Museum of Art, because already just looking at some of the sculptures and some of the designs outside of the museum, I already think it looks pretty outstanding. And I don't even think it needs all of the extra fame from Rocky. I think even without that being set here, I would definitely go visit this museum. So I think highly would recommend going and checking it out. But don't take my word fully for it, because I've never actually been inside. But just come into the entrance and be able to see how amazing and just how massive it looks. I think you'd all love it. American history isn't that old, but it is still history nonetheless. I am standing exactly where the very first Thanksgiving parade was. Back in 1920, Philadelphia, you've got so much more charm to it than I first anticipated. So we have now reached Eastern State Penitentiary, which is in the most bizarre area. Like, it's just beside loads of other random houses and cafes and just quaint bits of streets. But this is the oldest prison in all of North America, and we're literally right outside it. America is well known for the capital punishment. Let's see if we can get inside.
She said,
So guys, I'm currently standing in Eastern State Penitentiary, and I've done this audio guide here, and it was superb. I really enjoyed my time here at this prison, and it's so different to what I was imagining. I was expecting a proper Alcatraz style prison where like these prisoners are treated to the harshest of extents, but a penitentiary is actually a prison that tries to rehabilitate prisoners, and that is what this was thriving to do. So very different to what I expected, and overall a really great day. It reminds me a lot of being back at Fort George in Scotland. For some reason, I think with the audio guide, it just goes all of these like corridors with loads of just random blocks. Like, it feels very much like that. So where do you just get random deja vu moments like that? It's so stupid. Why has he got a mug shot? It's crazy that we've been in Philly for a good few hours, and we've now only just got to like the main area of the city. This is the City Hall, and as you can tell from the architecture of it, that it is so much older than the rest of the buildings that are surrounding it. It still maintains that European style from the people who probably found and created this city here in the Americas, and it has stayed true to that form. And that's what I love about America. I think it's just the blend of old and new, and this does it successfully.
I can feel the fire burn in my heart, make it through the twists and turns, out of the darkness, built from broken bones.
Joe and I are both quite shocked to find a roundabout here in Philadelphia. Like, that's one of the only roundabouts we've seen on our whole trip here to America, and it's definitely quite uncommon compared to the UK, who use them a lot. We're so used to roundabouts in the city. It's meant to see only one this entire trip. So yes, I can't believe at first of all we thought that Philly was actually quite quiet, because we are now here in the centre of the city, and it is a lively place. There's ice rinks, there is loads of museums, cafes, shops, you name it. Philly is such a lively city, and there's just something so, I don't know, there's just a certain vibe about this city that I really like it. Like, it's just like, everyone seems to be having fun. I got someone to come up to me and ask me to take a photo of them. Life just seems to be happy here in Philly. Maybe it's all the cheesesteaks that they'll be eating. So right now I'm standing at probably one of the most famously historic places in all of not just America, but actually I would say the whole world, because right behind me is Independence Hall, and Independence Hall is where they signed the Declaration of Independence. That is where America got officially branded its own country. The United States of America became the US of A, and it happened right here. And just before we go and take a look at that, I have just been into the little building on the side of it, and that is where the Liberty Bell is kept. So that is another famous artifact that is preserved for us all to see. It's just incredible that this is all here within the city. Anyways, let's get some shots of this very famous brickwork style building. I just love the old architecture of America, and doesn't really feel outdated compared to the rest of the buildings that are just so high.
Your love is like the ocean tide, steady as the wind and fierce as fire. Falling in will blur the lines.
So we're now here at one of the final things we're seeing here in Philadelphia. This is Elfreth Alley, and is one of the oldest streets here in the whole of the United States. This has been maintained, and it looks exactly like how a street in the 1700s and 1800s Philadelphia would have looked like. And I think that is insane. Like, just the old buildings, like the old style here is just so cozy, and it feels like I have just stepped into a TARDIS, into a time machine, travelled all the way back in time to old Philly. But do you get cheesesteaks back then? I don't think so, so I'm not going to do that just yet. We'll travel back to the future to get one of them. So happy New Year everyone, and thank you all for sticking around through what's been a really strange year for my YouTube channel. On one hand, you guys have been giving it so much support, and I am so grateful for that, because I don't really feel like I have been giving you the support back. We're still at the very early stages of 2023 when it comes to the continuity of my series. But thank you all for still sticking around, for still persevering and still enjoying and engaging in the content. It really means a lot. And one of my big goals for 2024 is to be able to get through my backlog of vlogs. So this is the best moment, guys, to sit back, subscribe to Lost in Travel, and stay tuned for all to come, because it's going to be a lot of adventure happening here this year from 2023 and onwards. I'm so excited to share it all. Anyways, I hope to see you here next week when we go to somewhere a lot closer to home, and I adventure to the Isle of Skye. Can't wait to catch you all there, guys. Peace out. See you later. Bye.
Why can't we be friends? If it's so much easier before we got our feelings hurt, and I can't pretend that it's easy. Why